and I will let you guys know when it's up, because it is not yet. And we're live.
Brilliant.
Sweet.
Fantastic.
Can you double check my audio real quick, Chris?
Will do. Will do. I'm just kicking up Steve's one. I'm going to kick up yours now.
Just checking, yeah. Twitter notifications, please stop it.
Right.
Well,
Is it? I mean,
Okay, everyone talk for about 10 seconds and then shut your damn mouths.
all right. We'll talk.
I'm here.
I don't know what to say.
I'm good.
Oh yeah, me too.
Okay, shut up. Okay, Ray, you're perfect.
Awesome.
Steve, you're good.
Lovely.
Everything is working. Everything is functional.
Everything's
And
all
here we
good.
are.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's
I
up,
think
guys?
We'll go with a
What's
round
up?
of introductions, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. We gotta let everybody know who's I'm Say Wolf. Welcome to the One Hit Power Up live cast, podcast, whatever you want to call it. And where I'm here with Steve from Mr. Ixolite and Chris
Hey.
from Last Life.
Hi.
Oh, what's up, gentlemen? What's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How's life in Sabl's world?
Well, it's America. We got ourselves a big blonde thing over here telling us what to do.
And how is that working out for you? As a person,
It's interesting.
it's interesting. Is it?
It's interesting. I'm not really good at the political stuff. we get to talking about that. There might be some.
Gonna have to change the topic of the stream.
there might be some interesting things said that people from both sides might not agree with.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I like to. I think if politics starts to affect me on a day-to-day basis, then I take an interest. But until then, it flies over my head. It's nothing really for my
Yeah, we're
consumption or worries.
living the wrong way if politics starts affecting your day-to-day life.
Well, yeah, when the price of milk starts going up and
Oh, I meant psychologically.
right.
I don't know you meant.
Alright.
I mean, like thinking about it, like 24/7. You know, those people who are like, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I will say, if I can only say one more thing about the subject, I will say if the UK suddenly found themselves being controlled or ran, sorry, by somebody with a reputation as studied as Trump's, I would probably be worried myself.
Studded.
Yeah, checkered is the one I was looking for. Studied is probably the harsher adjective than checkered. See, when you've gone through checkered, you come out at studied. And studied is like worse.
He's studded for pleasure.
Yeah, oh yeah, studied for your pleasure.
And he has exactly 3 vibrate functions as well.
Oh my god, that's awful. That's awful. They're only accessible when his wig's off. It's like 3 little buttons under his wig.
It's actually not a wig; it's a comb over, I think.
Do you think it would like? I think they call them a toupee.
Oh yeah,
the name.
toupee. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah,
And
if it
speaking-
was, it would have
speaking
come
of
off at some
hair,
point.
Speaking of hair, games, Witcher 3, nice hair physics. Moving back to the actual topic.
Well, back to games.
Yeah,
Oh, dude,
yeah,
that
we get back to the
segue was
game.
amazing. Dude,
We gotta.
did you practice that one?
No, I just finished Witcher 3 DLC the other day, and I'm
Oh,
very
yeah.
happy with life.
Which one? There's 2 of them.
I just finished Hearts of Stones. Basically, I was happy with it. I wasn't ecstatic.
Well, see,
I'm
that's
really
not
looking
the-
forward to Blood and Wine.
That's not the one that got really high praise though. Blood and Wine was the one that got a lot of praise.
But you see, I think because I waited so long to play it, the general media's and general people's sort of perspectives on the matter, that kind of just sort of jaded my view on it, because I walked into Hearts of Stones thinking the next DLC is going to be better than this.
Now, unfortunately for me, I haven't got that far in.
Don't worry, Steve, you killed the Griffin.
Yeah.
you
No, look,
managed to get that far.
The problem with Witcher 3 is whenever I come to play it, I've always got so many other games on the go, and I've always left it a couple of months since the last time I played it. So then I forget the whole control system. I forget absolutely everything about it, and then I end up having to start a new game every
Now,
time.
I will
and I'm
give
getting
you-
so fucked off seeing the start of the game. Now I don't want to play it for a bit.
I will give you that. Like the game is it's very it's a little bit more complex than your average RPG.
Very much so, yeah.
So I mean, it takes a little getting used to, and I have that same problem. Like when I pick it up, if I step away from it for a week and I pick it back up, like I'm always like it takes me a good half hour to get back into the swing of things, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, but you must admit, once you're in for like a good 3 or 4 hours.
That's very true.
All right. Just want to throw this out there. This is the officially the reason this podcast is going on at all is we are actually launching our new website, onehitpowerup.com. If you guys would like to go check that out, that would be awesome. Woo!
I'll write that in the chat.
Hold on, let me do an audience. Okay. No. So what was our first topic? We're actually going to talk about.
Let me just drop that in the chat. First topic. Oh, let's hit the behemoth first. Let's hit the big booty bits first.
Throw me the
Okay.
elephant.
Loot boxes.
Oh God.
I would like to know. I would like to know how each of you feel personally about loot boxes.
All right, Chris, you're the
Chris, I'd like to hear yours first.
you're the Overwatch fan. Go.
Yeah.
Tell us
it's
what you
basically
think
your
about
fault. It's basically all your fault, Chris. So yeah, you talk first.
Well, I think loot boxes are great. It adds so much to my experience. In all honesty, all games from this point onward need loot boxes. Loot boxes are the game.
No, seriously, screw loot boxes.
Wow. I was going to say
they
you
can-
just died there.
They can just go to hell. They take look, and I'm speaking as someone who paid $60 for Overwatch and then still paid for loot boxes. I went to I'm fessing up. I'm one of them. I'm one of those. Like,
Are you a
there was-
whale?
You need.
I was a dolphin, not a whale. I was a
You
dolphin.
was a dolphin by
I
comparison.
was a dolphin
was
for
you?
a while.
Okay.
Yeah. So I sunk maybe like another $30 into loot boxes, and
You need. You need to make that monkey look good, bro. And in that fucking snowman outfit, what is it, a Yeti?
dude.
No.
I needed it.
On the chat, Fredvik says that Overwatch loot boxes aren't as bad as other games, and I agree. I would like to agree to that because
Yes. No. Now, definitely, I agree with that. They aren't as bad as other games, but also take in mind, like, put it this way: Overwatch. People who are playing Overwatch are different from the people that are playing, let's say, the latest Call of Duty game or playing PUBG. You're hitting a different sort of player field. So let's look at Overwatch, for example. Pixar style graphics. You know you're hitting a younger audience. That's just the way that game is. So they are going to be more focused at the cosmetic side of things. And that's that's sort of playing to the target audience.
Okay.
Well,
But-
the thing about it, just real quick, the thing about it that's bad is not. It's not so much like, I get it, okay, it's just cosmetics, and that's fine, it doesn't affect the way you play the game. But it's designed in such a way that the progression takes so long, and it's a randomized, loot box system is a randomized system. So you never know when you're going to get exactly what you want. So at some point, you get so fucking tired of playing the game to try to get it the right, the way that you would normally get it by just progressing, that you're just like, fuck it, I'll just sink $10 or $20 into loot boxes. And that to me is the problem. You see what I'm saying?
So where I stand is, I think people, because of stuff like CS:GO and where PUBG is at the moment with in-game items that are worth real-life money, I think that a fool and his money are easily parted. And I think that if you care so much about cosmetic items, then a fool and his money are easily parted, and fuck you. I think if you're stupid enough to worry that much about an in-game cosmetic item that does nothing apart from make you look a little bit cooler, I think you're an idiot.
And something I'd just like to add to that point is, look, I mean, like, I will hate against Overwatch and the loot boxes because my experience with them was particularly bad, because I obviously, like, I didn't get the stuff that I wanted in none of the loot boxes that I ever bought. For some reason, I'm psychologically convinced that Overwatch has an algorithm where you get items for characters you never actually play. But
Yeah.
besides all that, actually, the reason why I will hate on Overwatch a lot more than other games is because, and it's a typical argument, but it's that whole good guy Blizzard thing, where because Blizzard is just naturally such a good guys that they make great games, they make fun games, they make great free-to-play games, that they have such a good name that they can sort of get away with a bit more than controversial EA, controversial Ubisoft. And now because they've been able to get away, it's sort of made it. I think it has, in a sense, called kind of like an open season, if you will, with other companies. And yeah,
I agree.
Well,
I agree.
let's just talking about you brought up EA and Ubisoft, okay? And
here we go.
we're getting
Oh no.
we're getting into a whole new world of shit with this. Okay. And let me just say this before I start, okay? Because I don't know if people are going to understand why I'm triggered in the first place, all right? I'm a Star Wars fan, motherfuckers. I mean, let's just get that out of the way. No, what gets me about the whole Overwatch situation is that this cosmetics only loot box system opens the door to what EA has done. So basically, companies like Ubisoft and EA, who are actually very greedy publishers, in my opinion, they look at this and they say, well, how can we make this make us more money? So they incorporate it into a pay-to-win type system, which completely breaks any gameplay mechanic, in my opinion. And Steve, you brought up something to me last time we talked. You said that, well, somebody who works like me, like I work full time. I work at least 40 to 50 hours a week, right?
We're talking pay to advance here, yeah?
Yeah, pay to advance.
Yeah.
So I work 40 to 50 hours a week, right? And you, on the other hand, have more time to spend in a game and advance it naturally. So you were asking me, would it be okay for like someone like, say, me, that can't put as much time into a game, to be able to pay for the content that I would never necessarily be able to unlock because I don't have the amount of time to apply to that game to unlock that content. And my opinion still stands strong on this point. Okay? I don't think that someone who plays the game more means that allows the other people to pay to win. I feel like you should know what you're going into beforehand. And throwing all this aside, like, the game should not be developed in such a way that it's so fucking hard to unlock things in the first place. It shouldn't take, 400 hours of gameplay to unlock something. And I agree. Obviously, I'm being over dramatic, right? Okay, I know I'm being over dramatic, but it's designed that way on purpose. It's designed that way on purpose to stimulate people into looking at the game and saying, man, I am fucking tired of playing with the same shit. I want to go ahead and, level up. I want to move on to a better gun. I want to move on to something else. And they look at that and they say, oh, well, over here is an option where I can spend $2 and it will level me up. And that's easier.
So, but what gets me is, and this is one of the few times where I will openly engage in empathy with developers and maybe publishers to an extent. In that people, I think progression isn't a want in a game. For me, progression is a need in a game. I need to have goals. I need to have targets. I need to get rewarded for doing things in a game.
You have to have something to look forward to. Yeah.
Hence me not playing Insurgency anymore, because there is zero progression in that game, zero sense of reward or accomplishment.
True.
Now,
Definitely.
The problem with pay to advance is that some people are saying that I work, therefore I'm not getting the same sense of progression. What I'm doing is I'm putting all of those terms, reward, and all of those things under one term, progression, right? And they're not getting the same sense of progression from their time in the game because it takes 40 hours to unlock this thing and they just haven't got the time for it. Is it then fair for those people to be able to buy it?
I don't think so. I don't think that going and buying your progression is rewarding. That's not a rewarding
Now, that's
feeling.
the point. That's the point. That's the overall underlying point for me. However many times you want to say, yes, but I work or I do this, so I don't have the time. Unfortunately, it doesn't wash with me because the underlying thing is then you don't get the you don't get the reward. You don't get the feeling of knowing that you truly achieved it. So when I'm walking around in game and I've got my gun and you come up and go, dude, look what I've got, and you've got the same gun, and I say, yeah, but I did my 40 hours, you bought yours. I know that inside you will cry a tear. You might go, yeah, so what? So I paid $3 for it. I've got the same gun as you and I can do the same as you. No, you can't. Because I've spent 40 hours working up to this gun, which means I've got 40 hours experience behind me in the game. And you haven't. You've got $3. So you shed your little tear inside, because I know you'll be shedding a tear inside, because it is a hollow victory for everybody. And I'll still be better than you because I know how to use it more than you do.
Well, let's talk about the fun.
And I'm only using you in the inverted common sense as in part of the conversation. I don't actually mean you, that you're a slack twat, Ray, and I'm never playing a game with you ever again. Wait, what? Wait, what?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Sorry, I was just... Sorry, dude.
Musa says, I notice a lot of pay-to-win games are failing hard, though. But that's just because of EA's recent blunder. That is actually...
Yeah, but there's some free-to-play games that have come out, like Paladins, I think, got into a bit of hot water community-wise recently because there was some pay-to-winner or some definite pay-to-advance elements in it that people weren't happy about.
But you see, do you know what? I think it all comes down to the fact that, put it this way, like I can see it from two minds. I can see it from the developer and publisher's mind, and I can see it from the community's mind. from the developer and publisher, yes, let's say they genuinely need to make more money, and these are the ways that's just work at doing it. Like let's say, for example, they need this money, they genuinely need it, so they start implementing these things. But now we're looking at it from the player's perspective, where if a game has been almost purely free to play for a year, and now suddenly these things are being implemented on like a month's notice, obviously the communities are going to get upset. Obviously they're going to start looking for alternatives, because at the end of the day, look, and it's our flaws as humans, we don't like change, especially if it's going to end up costing us, especially if it's going to take something that we enjoy and suddenly turn it into a bit of a grind fest.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like the whole thing that is kind of brought it to the public eye, and this is cool. This is cool to me. Like EA's blunder with Star Wars
Battlefront 2.
I keep thinking Battlefield. I'm sorry. Battlefront, right? Mm-hmm. Has caused this chain reaction where people are actually paying attention to what's happening. And that's cool. Like that's so uncommon for the gaming community. I mean, think about how much media coverage the gaming community actually gets on situations like this. The community itself, the devs, and especially the publishers always get a lot of like backing, and they get a lot of media coverage. But the community, the gamers, don't normally get listened to that often, because there's this stereotype that we're all nerdy, fat
Neckbeards in mom's basement.
Yeah. So everybody demoralizes us and makes us think, oh, you're a gamer, your opinions don't matter. But I feel like EA's blunder with this microtransaction loot box system has actually opened some people's eyes about how this is actually going. Not the developers, but the publishers are taking advantage of this community, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
And one more thing. Speaking of free to play, right? I feel like that's where the loot box system, this whole pay to win system and the loot boxes and all that, I feel like that's where it originated.
It can be traced back further, if I'm honest with you. Battlefield has had loot boxes in since Battlefield 3.
But could we? I mean, could you? Do you think it's fair for a free-to-play game to have pay-to-win or loot boxes or systems like that in place?
I think in my opinion, I think it's a little more acceptable if they do, because
they got to make money somehow. Right?
They got to make money, yeah.
Yeah, and also from my perspective, it's to certain degrees. Again, it is fun, provided it's transparent from the get-go.
Yeah. And if they're not in my face, well, you see, if I were to give you my honest opinion about loot boxes, I'd say I don't care. I don't care about them. You can put them in the game if you want. It doesn't mean I'm going to buy them.
But
it
you see,
doesn't mean I'm like the only time I have anything to do with loot rates at the moment is on PUBG, and that's because you get them in the game, but I cannot buy them with the in-game money anytime I want. And I've got stuff in my inventory that's worth a little bit of money for PUBG, and I will sell them at the drop of a hat if a game comes out that I want. Like I have no problem at all selling anything I get from any game on Steam, and using the money to buy. Like, I don't know if we told you this or not, but when PUBG first came out, there was one person in the circle of friends that didn't have PUBG, and we all clubbed together over a period of about 3 weeks and gave all of the crates to one person, and then he sold them on the community market until he had enough in his Steam wallet to buy another copy of PUBG.
That's pretty badass.
We used PUBG to buy a copy of itself. That's awesome, isn't it?
Circle of life.
But that's what I mean. That's what, everybody's doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong unless you're using Steam to buy you more fucking games, you're doing it wrong. Because that's what it's there for me. If you give me something from a game that's worth money to somebody else, I'm going to sell it to him. I don't care.
That is the mark of a true businessman right there.
I just realized something. I just realized something deep and dark when you said that, Steve.
Sorry.
Because no issues at all. But when I sell things to get money on Steam, what am I doing? I'm buying cards to craft badges. Badges are loot boxes.
Badges, it's just
Badges
a
are
thing.
loot boxes.
I mean, I've got a couple of badges. I've got a couple, but like all the cards in my inventory at the moment, they're just sitting there, gaining and gaining, going up a penny a week or something like that. And when the time comes, somebody wants it, you can have it.
No, but seriously, think about it. Like when you craft a badge on Steam, yes, you get the achievements and you get a little bit of XP or whatever. But also you get randomized items. All the items that go with that badge are randomized. So maybe that's also like.
So Steam is a loot box system.
God damn it, Gabe!
Gabe's been loot boxing it for years, man, and we haven't even realised. The awakening stream.
So we've traced it.
It's a picture
We've
of
traced
Gabriel's
it to its
beady-eyed
source,
face.
guys. We've traced it to its source.
He's the queen of loot boxes, sitting on his nest of loot boxes, loot box nest, laying
Well, we
loot
don't
boxes.
have Half-Life 3.
Because it have loot boxes in it.
Because it hasn't showed up in our loot box yet.
Do you know what though? As funny as that is, there's an element of truth in that. I think.
No.
I
Totally.
left a comment on a YouTube video a while back that was postulating on why we won't get a Half-Life 3, and I left a comment along the lines of there's numerous reasons why we won't get a Half-Life 3. One is because nobody on the face of the planet could make the game to follow up Half-Life 2. It's not possible because some people somewhere would dislike something about it so intensely that they would set the internet on fire,
Dude,
with their complaints, and then Half-Life 3 would be besmirched and everybody'd hate it.
dude, we just talked. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then the other one was unfortunately you wouldn't get the game you want. We don't get the games that we want. It doesn't work like that. We get the games that we deserve.
Dude,
Right now, that's what's happening in the community right now. We are getting the games we deserve. And that's our fault. Because we've bought loot boxes, because we've engaged in microtransactions, and that guy out there, I know you're not watching my stream on Twitch right now, but if you do see this, that guy out there that paid 30,000 or 15,000 in microtransactions, whoever you are, you're responsible. Because you dropped so much money in single transactions, they saw the light. And now they shaft us with them. So now we get the games that we deserve because people keep paying microtransactions. If you want them to go away, stop fucking using them because corporations only see in numbers. It's like the Matrix. They only see in columns of numbers.
Yeah, it's graphs and it's graphs and fucking metrics.
Net and gross. That's all they're seeing. And if it's zero, they won't do it because there's nothing in it. So if we all agreed to just not use microtransactions ever again, then they'd go away within a matter of months. Within a year or two, they'd be gone altogether. The same as loot boxes. If everybody out there ignored the buy box button with IRL money, they'd go away because there'd be no reason for them to put them in because nobody was engaging on them. They keep putting them in because people keep fucking using them.
Yeah.
It's very, very simple. It's very easy to work out. But what makes me so fucking angry at this community, what makes me want to abhor, I'm no part of it. Sometimes I don't even want to admit that I'm a gamer. When there's people out there that are dropping 15 grand a time in microtransactions and then going on the internet and moaning about microtransactions being in games, just to jump on the bandwagon and seem like fucking relevant. And I am sick and tired of that mentality of the people bandwagoning just because they want to be relevant or they want to be in the conversation. They just say what's the most common thing that they read in many right. Okay, so that's what I'm on as well.
Yeah.
And
I agree with you entirely on
hate
that
it.
point.
I hate it, man. If you haven't got the balls to have your own opinion, regardless of what what it is. But if you haven't got the balls to be open about your opinion, shut the fuck up and get out. Get off the internet, man, because this is a place where everybody puts their opinions out there. It's well known. Nobody hides their opinions on the internet. So why would you therefore bandwagon? Why wouldn't you come out with what your own actually is? Why wouldn't you be honest? It's not like anybody can get to you. If you want to go on the internet and be a keyboard warrior and have a good rant at people do that all the time because they know nobody can get to them. They can't. It's not like the guy's going to knock on the door the next morning and go, "Yo, you called me a prick in the YouTube comments yesterday. Get outside."
Exactly, man. For example,
So
I think Metal Gear Survive is great.
Right. So why would you not then be honest about your opinion? I'm not even going there because I know how stupid that is. I wasn't even dignifying it with a response, bro. It was so ridiculous. I just skimmed over the top of it quick. But that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel like
No,
people
I hear you, man, 100%.
I
need to be a
can.
lot more honest about their opinions. And if you don't like something, just say. Or if you like if you were the guy that dropped $15,000 in a microtransaction, be a fucking hero and in the comment section and go, yeah, that was me. That was me. Yeah, so what? I'm rich. I got the money to burn. I wanted to get there very quick, so I paid for it. Have some fucking balls. Don't just jump on the internet afterwards and go, oh, I hate microtransactions. Oh, yeah,
Well,
that £15,000 transaction quick.
The problem, Steve, that I'm seeing is how do you convince a community to boycott something? I mean, it's like you say, they get online and they lie about what they're doing, and they act like they really don't want it to happen, right? But how do you actually convince a community like this is a bad thing? Because the more we do it, the more and this is where Overwatch comes back into play, okay? Right? Overwatch is not, their loot boxes aren't as bad because it's purely cosmetic, all right? But it opens the door. The more people buy shit in Overwatch, the more people buy shit in Overwatch, the more loot boxes get bought in Overwatch. Other companies see that, and they see that it's a they see the
numbers.
Yeah, they see the numbers, and they see that it's a success, and they see that they can make money off of it, and they're like, you know what? We sell a $60 game. We can just add more money on top of that. We can get more inflow of cash on top of that. We can make a game that's worth potentially thousands of dollars per unit.
It's an initial return, isn't it, as well? They see the free-to-play games with the loot boxes in, and they go, oh yeah, see that they made 1.2 million just in microtransactions, and that's just profit. That's all profit. And they're seeing other companies' nets, and they're going, Jesus Christ, 3 million just from loot boxes, net profit. Like, right, that's it, loot boxes, don't care, cosmetics, work it out, get it in. But then obviously there's a problem here about we need to talk about the big publishers that force them into developers' games.
We were getting into. You said something earlier that I wanted to comment on. I'm trying to think of what it is. You were talking about. We get the games we deserve. That's what it was. You said we were getting the games we deserve. That's why we won't get a Half-Life 3.
Yep.
And me and Chris literally just talked about this. I call it the Square Enix effect, or the Square Enix.
Yes,
Square.
you talk about that.
It's called Square Enix syndrome. That's what I call it. So basically, I don't know if you remember, but back in the late '90s, early 2000s, SquareSoft was the shit. Okay, there was a Final Fantasy releasing every 2-3 years, and every time it would release, they would have something new added on to the RPG, like from 6 to 7 that was the jump to 3D, and then 7 to 8 there was the polygons had been improved, and then 8 to 9, and then 9 to 10 they had voice acting and full facial animations, so they keep jumping. And SquareSoft was like the king of Japanese RPGs back then, and they were super, super popular. I don't know if you've noticed, but when Final Fantasy 15 released, it was met with mixed reception.
Yeah, it was.
And I played it, dude, and it's not a bad game. It's not a bad game. It's not
There's
a
a button
great.
there somewhere.
It's not a great game, but it's not a bad game. They were trying something new, okay? They were trying to innovate like they did back then. But the problem is that the Final Fantasy name, if that game had had any other name on it, any other name, okay? It could have been called Generic Japanese RPG number 17, you know?
JRPG EP7.
Yeah, it could have had any other fucking name on it, and it would have been a hit with everybody. Everybody would have liked it.
Yeah.
The fact that it carries the Squaresoft Final Fantasy title, fans of the series are the worst. Well, fans, and I'm a fanboy, okay? I'm a fanboy of certain games, but fans are the worst. We have these expectations about how things have to be, and there's half of us that are in love with the old, and there's half of us that want to innovate and be new, and there's no way that Squaresoft can please their entire community. There's absolutely no way they can do it. It's not possible. And I feel like Half-Life 3 is, you know, what you described, the same thing you described, is what is basically that. It's the it's the Squaresoft syndrome.
And you know what? This is why personally I am petrified, absolutely petrified for Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it has to follow in Witcher 3's coattails. And
Yeah.
everybody has this huge opinion of CD Projekt Red, which they're an amazing developer, don't get me wrong. But that same hype is detrimental to their creation, because they could create something totally awesome, yet different. It'll be different from what people expect and still be good, but it's not what people wanted. So it'll still be met with with mixed feelings of anger and hate, and some people will love it. And it's almost like they've reached a point of popularity. This is what it boils down to. They've reached a point of popularity that is so high that it actually works against them as a developer.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I wanted to cover with the whole thing you mentioned. We can move on to bitching about EA now.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I had to rant a little.
Yeah. No, it's. I think it's down to whether or not a developer can stay on their own and develop and publish on their own. Because as soon as they start going and getting help from help from publishers, publishers start to tick about, you know.
Speaking of that, dude, you know, one of the things that publishers do that really irk me. I mean, I get mad every time I hear about this. And EA has. I know I keep bringing EA up, okay? They're just a bad company, bro. They're just a bad company. What it comes to is, like, basically, a developer will make a game, right? And they'll be on target, but the publisher will want it released early, or they'll want to push something, or they'll want to modify something. And even though the developer knows that what the publisher wants to add is detrimental to the gameplay or detrimental to the game itself, they have to do it to meet time constraints or whatever. So when the game gets released, and it gets released under hate, and it bombs, then what EA does is it shuts down their that shuts down that developer. Like it happened.
May we please have a moment of silence for Visceral?
Yeah, Visceral.
and Maxis.
Can I just interrupt 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Chris, you said my audio was coming through fine for you, yeah?
I've actually I've been following in your chat. I've just checked now. Like, it was there in the beginning, and it's gone now.
Uh-oh.
On now.
Ruh-roh. Rat-racky.
It's a bit odd.
Hmm.
You can hear me all right. It's all right there.
I think you're coming through my end. Okay.
Yeah, like your side's still perfect. Hmm.
Let me just check myself. Hold on.
No worries, man. Do you mind if we talk on for a second?
No, go for it. Oh my god.
Okay, so what was I saying? Talking about E EA?
Basically, I'm just gonna stick it in there. I am petrified for the next Dragon Age game. I don't even want it. I don't even want it.
And how comes that?
Because I'm afraid that it's basically what happened to Mass Effect is going to happen to Dragon Age.
Hmm.
They're gonna bomb it, and then it's just gonna ruin the series. I think it's a bit different for Mass Effect though. Like I never actually played the Mass Effect game, but wasn't Mass Effect 3 supposed to be like the final one as well? Like a resolute ending to the series?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Let's go back though, because we're talking about BioWare. BioWare still exists. Although I'm worried.
Now.
I'm worried about BioWare, but let's go back. Like, you guys remember when SimCity dropped? Like, SimCity came out and it was always online. It was a single player fucking game. Okay? A single player game. It had to be online all the time.
Bro, let me just put it out there for you now. So when SimCity came out, I wasn't even really playing games back then. I was in the non-gamer circle, and I heard about that controversy.
Dude,
that was dude, that was that year's equivalent of freaking Battlefront 2.
You know what EA's answer to that was? I mean, go ahead. If you know it, say it. You know what EA's answer to that was? They shut down Maxis. The developer behind The Sims, the developer behind the original Sim Cities, got shut down because EA didn't make enough fucking money off of a product that they pushed, that they wanted, that they wanted out by a certain time, and they implement these rules that are just they're unreasonable, dude. It's a single player game. I don't know if you've ever played Sim City. Or, it's similar to City Skylines. There's no reason to be online all the time. SimCity never had a reason to be an online game. It's a single-player game. There's no reason to have it online. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm ranting at this point, but...
Oh, dude, it's actually a good point to, just sort of bring up, like, how the industry has evolved over time, and also it goes to show how, because like Steve was saying, like, you get the games you deserve, like, because we've become lenient to that sort of things. That's why most games now, you get so many single player big titles that are always online for absolutely no reason. I mean, like for example, I know it's not forced, but in Persona 5, there's that whole thing where you can be connected to their own little network, which shows you what other people were doing throughout the day. That adds nothing to your day. I mean, it adds nothing to your game experience. Maybe if you're like some hardcore, perspectively
completionist,
completionist who would maybe then benefit from that. But for most people, they're not going to benefit from that. No, it's forcing you to always be online, and it's basically what I'm getting at is that it didn't have to be like that. It's that's what we're used to now. We've been conditioned to accept it.
This is what, dude. Okay, BioWare used to be one of my favorite developers. Okay, used to be on the top of my list. And now, after the whole Mass Effect fiasco and Andromeda fiasco, I'm worried. I'm legitimately worried because they're getting
what a shit game.
They're getting backlash for these games, and I feel like EA's response to that backlash is always to shut the developer down. That's what they do. And you know, it leaves me wondering, would it not be better for them to get shut down and start their own fucking development company? Because similar to what Kojima did with Konami. Because the developer's constraints become, I mean, not the developer, the publisher's constraints become so heavy and so hard to handle that would it not be better for these individuals who actually develop the games to break out on their own?
Something I just want to throw out as a slight tangent to this. I'm a very sick and twisted person, and there is a small part of me that wants Death Stranding to just be terrible when it comes out.
It's like
I want it to be absolutely awful.
It's like the twist, the whole plot twist is that Kojima was always awful. He was never very good, and the mastermind behind it was like the Konami team.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. There's some good minds behind that game.
Oh, dude. I mean, there's like I've never really been big on the Kojima sort of games, but I've been seeing some stuff. I mean, even just their cinematically, that's like piqued my interest. But you know, it'd be nice for that game. Seeing some actual gameplay.
Kojima's like that though. He always releases these really I don't know if you guys remember back when the older Metal Gears were released, but he releases questionable shit. Like it's never certain what's gonna happen.
Did you like it?
It's like the Kojima Lotto. You just pull a lever and it's like, we're going to give you this video, this video, this video. And none of it has to do with the actual fucking game. They're just pre-rendered cinematics.
And you know what'd be the best is if they do. Like all the stuff we've been seeing has literally nothing to do with the game. Like, for example, they released the game, Norman Reedus isn't even in it.
We rendered him naked just to pique interest. It's for the people who like Norman, like really like Norman Reedus.
Dude, that was my favorite internet couple for a while. Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus.
Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus. Bro, that like I can feel my cranium collapsing in on itself trying to hold in the cringe right
now. Damn.
So the way you describe it, I'm thinking of very like I don't know if you've ever seen like Fist of the North Star when he does any of like the pressure points and then like their heads explode.
Oh, dude, Fist of the North Star, no way. Oh, you brought back memories there, dude. Oh, wow. What a film. What a film. Well, would you like to move on to another topic?
Yeah,
sure,
let's go. Let's go. We're running out of steam. Let's go to...
I'd like to start with you, say Raymond, say Wolfman, say Ray Wolfman. What's your favorite game of 2017?
My favorite game of 2017? Shit, that's hard. That's really hard. Give me a second. Games of 2017. Thanks, Google. All right. I can't say that I have a 100% favorite. I have like I have three that are really up there for me, and the first one, I'm a big fan of horror games. I like scary games. I would say one of the big ones that I really enjoyed was Resident Evil.
Which one?
7, the one that came out last year.
Okay.
And it was pretty.
That was a really good game, though. That was
I feel like
it was better than it had any right to be.
It was a return to form, and I was actually, I feel like I was surprised. I was like, fuck, Capcom's actually listening to us. Like, I don't know. Like it's actually listening to their fans. They're taking into account what has been said, and I felt a sense of pride for being a Resident Evil fan. Like I played it and I was like, this is actually good. I enjoyed it. Unlike 6, which I will not even mention. That game does not exist. It's like the Lion King 2. I refuse to acknowledge its existence.
Disgrace.
Another one was, and I don't know if this even counts because I didn't start playing this game until like a month ago, so like late December. But it was Persona 5. It was one of the best JRPGs that come out recently. I think I stole Chris's Game of the Year.
Thanks,
Just
mate.
now. Sorry, bro.
So to reiterate, is your game of the year Resident Evil or Persona 5?
Well, I don't have a necessarily
You can only
one
pick
that's...
one. You
How
can
do I
only
pick one? How do I pick one?
Okay,
I
dude,
can't pick
put it
one.
this way. Your house is on fire. You need to pick one of your kids to save. Go. Resident Evil 7, Persona 5.
Shit. I can't. I can't.
The fire's
do that.
coming, bro. Socks are on fire. It's spreading up the legs. Gotta pick one.
Screw you, Chris. Move on to you. You pick one.
Well, fine.
No,
you know what? You
no,
can
I'm
have
not doing.
both.
Whoa, no. So what was it? What's your best game? Of 2017. What is it? Persona 5?
It's
You
Damn
can
it,
only pick
Steve.
one.
You're
I've
putting
got
me
to
on a.
force you. I've got to force your hand. I'm afraid.
You're putting me on a podium because there were so many good games that came out this year. Like
Unfortunately, I have to force your hand.
2017 was one of the best. Was one of the best years for me.
I have to. Unfortunately, dude, I have to force your hand and I have to push you for one and one only.
Okay, if you put it this way, dude, if you had to put down one and say, which one do you think after putting them down would make you feel like, wow, I really enjoyed that?
You know what? Just to let it go, I'm gonna say Resident Evil 7, just so you
Okay.
guys can move on.
Okay, no, because I now have to ask you what was your worst game of 2007?
Of 2007. Hold on, let me Google it.
2017.
I know.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I've got no audio. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Don't
dude,
know
that's
what's-
that's weird. I keep on also checking on my side, and it's rather queer that there is no audio here.
If I turn that up, I don't know. I know that's. I don't know if you've got game audio now. I don't know. I do, yes, I do. Well, actually, if you're interested, we're going to be starting to do this once a month, I think, aren't we, guys? Where we sit down and just
Yeah,
have a chat about things that are going on.
Most
Definitely.
definitely. Yeah.
So that's what we'll probably be
Okay,
doing.
so it has to be a game that I played, right?
It has to be a game that you played, yeah.
Okay, well I didn't play very many bad games in 2017. Like I said, 2017 was a really good year for games. Like I feel like this is one of the best years of the decade for games. I would have to say Mass Effect Andromeda. And
Okay,
that really saddens me.
It hurt me to hear you say that, but it hurts me more to know that I can't argue.
And it makes
that hurts more.
yeah. But yeah, that's
Okay, so
we'll
best
move
was
on.
Resident Evil and worst was Mass Effect Andromeda. Chris, what about you? What was your best game of 2017?
Surprisingly, like the more I think about it, I love Persona 5, but I'm actually gonna choose What Remains of Edith Finch.
Oh shit! I did not expect that, but
Good call.
that's a good choice. It's a good choice.
Like it took me by complete surprise because like I really enjoy walking simulators, the story, the atmosphere. It's literally you just WASD walk around and get to enjoy these pretty environments. But that game had just such a drawing depth. It had these hidden gameplay elements, these little secrets. It was it's another one where it's exceeded all expectations for me, and that was my game. Where even more so than Persona 5, where when I finished it, I was like, wow, I am really glad I played that. I'm really glad I didn't miss out on that opportunity.
Okay, so what was your worst game of 2017?
Worst game. I don't know. I don't know if this counts. But my worst game of 2017. Does a beta count?
If you've played it, we'll just say if you've played it.
Yeah, I'll let you. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because betas aren't indicative of the final game.
Oh yeah, true. Oh,
Which is a problem. That's a problem. Yeah, I'd much rather it be a released game if possible. I'll give you early access. You can have early access, but not a beta.
Damn it! I have a new one.
Uh-oh.
And Steve, I know why you said early access, and no, I'm not saying it. I love that game. I will not shame it. Worst game. What's something that I despised playing? Like that made me feel like, why am I doing this to myself?
Hey,
You're a humble bunch.
I'll give you a hint, Chris. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It has knights in it.
Dude, he's leaned in real close to his mic for this.
It's like chivalry medieval warfare but worse.
What? I think that's 2016, but I'm gonna call it anyway. Wait, I'm doing a search. For Honor, go fuck yourself.
Do you know what? I can't argue with that either. That was a bad game.
So my experience with that game was summarized with Ray in a 45-minute session, where after spending 20 hours downloading the game, we played for 45 minutes. After which time, I was so frustrated. Ray was mad. Ray never gets mad. Ray was angry. Where the most
Wait, you said Ray.
satisfying-
Wait. You said Ray never gets mad.
my
We've
bad,
played
my
golf
bad,
with your
my
friends,
bad.
remember?
Yeah, I was golf with your
My
friends,
bad, my
man.
bad. If not even more so, but the most satisfying experience of my entire time with that game was getting to press the uninstall button.
Oh, wow. Oh, when you can't wait to get rid of a game.
It was orgasmic, dude. It's like you pull out the uninstall and you're like, oh. Okay, you can stop now.
So, Stephen, Nathan, Mr. Ixolite.
What was
your?
I already know what it is.
What was your
my
best of
number one
2017?
game, you'll know what my number one game of 2017 is. It's obviously PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, without a shadow of a doubt.
I guessed it.
There's no game out there. Well,
Really?
I'll
Wow.
take a quick look in my
Do-
Steam.
Do the Owen
Would you
Wilson.
like to know how many hours I've got in that game up to now?
Tell us.
200.
Shame yourself. Publicly shame yourself. How much?
Ray
How much
says
time? How much?
200.
How much time are you spending in this game where you could be outside socializing? Being a human?
What? Wait, what? Outside? What? What's that?
This makes me doubt how well you know Steven.
720.
Wow.
And I'm quite proud of that
Wow.
because I'm really quite good at it.
Wow.
Wow.
It's the only game. Well, it's not the only game I've played, but so right. One of my RL friends, shout out Jedi. We were talking one time a while ago. He's a tiny little bit older than me. He's been playing video games just as long. Plays all the same games that I play, and I actually met him online. You know, when the big black Xbox came out, the very first Xbox, the large black concrete slab thing, I met him playing online on that. And I've known him since then. He's the whole reason why I live in the town I live in now. We're crazy good friends.
That's some bro bond right there.
Yeah, it is. I love him to bits, man. He's a really cool guy, really cool guy. But anyway, we were sat talking one time. We were saying, I think we were on about there was a new Battlefield game coming out, and he was saying like, "Are you gonna get it?" And I'm going, "Of course I'm gonna get it. It's Battlefield. That's what we do. we play Battlefield." That's like, he was like, "Oh, I don't know." I was like, "Dude, are you crazy? Why would you not?" And he's like, "Yeah, but." I was like, "Look, man, you know what it's about, dude. It's about the unique moments." And he just sort of looked at me and went, Yeah. Yeah, it is, isn't it, really? I was like, that's what online gaming, all of online gaming is about. Because things happen when you play against other people that don't happen when you're playing against a computer. Now,
I will throw this out there. PUBG offers some really unique.
That was my roundabout point. Going throughout all the shout out and all of that roundabout point I was getting to was
it's one of the more
unique moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, the unique moments that you have in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds are better than on any other online shooting game I've ever played. The camaraderie that you find on it, like the looting's highly addictive as well.
Let me just say this though: when everybody left when everybody left the island, they there must have been like some kind of prime sale on weapons because everybody has like 3 or 4 guns laying in the middle of their floor in the house.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Like the army must have gone around just handing them out or something. That's the way it was.
The more guns you have, the more higher up you are in society. Especially if you have them laying in random places in your house.
Yeah, mate. Just leave it on the floor. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
So I'm actually really curious to know your worst.
My worst?
Yeah, I want to know your worst. Your worst game of 2017.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Oh no.
No, it giveth and it taketh away, my friends. It giveth and it taketh away.
So elaborate on it. Elaborate, like, why is it your best annual?
I need justification for this.
Well, like I say, it giveth and it taketh away. With one hand, it gives you experiences and unique moments, the likes of which you aren't going to find in any other game. Literally no other game. And I don't care if you want to start coming and talking about Fortnite, and I'll send you away with a slap face and say, keep your cartoon graphics, you little bitch. You want to start come and talk to about H1Z1, I'll say go keep your toxic community. I know that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds community is not exactly fantastic, but the H1Z1 community is awful, and the game is a pile of steaming shite. The reason why I want to give it Worst Game of the Year is because the way it was when it was released, it was in such an awful condition. It was such a bad game to play. It was so broken in so many ways. If you really want to see how broken it was in so many ways, go buy yourself an Xbox One and buy PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds for Xbox One, because
and if you have a PS4, sorry for you.
Yeah, gutted.
I have I have a PC and a PS4. I get best of both worlds. Dude, I will not be bothered to own an Xbox. I don't know. I'm getting into a.
It's not just that. It's the. It was the cheating that's going on as well, and like there was a lot of cheating going on. A lot of cheating.
I do remember that clip you uploaded with that flipping auto, where that dude was like basically auto locking on people. That was dirty, man.
So there's a conversation that needs to be had, and it's a conversation that I don't mind taking on actually, because I'm a straight up kind of guy. You guys know me, we've known each other for a few years now. You know that I don't really like elephants in the room. If there's something to be said, then I will probably be the person to say it.
Mostly because it's bad for the floor.
The problem has been Chinese players. There's something you have to understand, and something I didn't know until I found out. This has educated me, this whole fiasco with the Chinese players. It started when Chinese players were complaining about the connection, because China's surrounded by a national firewall, so any outgoing connections are obviously slowed down or interfered with, and so on and so forth, because of the government. They complained, so Bluehole Studios signed up with a VPN service, and then Chinese players could pay at the same price of the game again to receive a premium copy of the game, which came with free access to this VPN service, which then circumnavigated and automatically sent them to American and European servers. This meant that they were ping lagging like hell, and something that's come to light is that it's actually somewhat acceptable to cheat in Chinese society in online video games. It's actually I'm not going to go out and say that it's fine, what I'm going to say is it's more acceptable to cheat in Chinese society than it is in, say, American or European society.
There is a higher degree of leniency.
There's a high degree of exactly.
See,
So what this has meant is that there's been a very, very high influx of Chinese players onto North American and European servers because of their VPN service. Now, when I mean a high influx, I mean we're talking like 1 million to 2 million. We're talking a lot. Now, statistically, that means the number, even if Chinese players aren't all prone to cheating or mostly prone to cheating, even statistically, if there was the same amount of cheaters in China as there are in, say, North America or Europe, as soon as 2 million people come over, change servers, all of those regular cheaters come with them anyway. So the number of cheaters goes up a lot. But then add to the fact that it is kind of acceptable to cheat for Chinese players, and all of a sudden you've got a lot of Chinese players getting a very bad reputation. And a lot of times rightly so. I can't tell you the amount of times I've been cheated in the last, well, up till last week. I'd say up till last week or the week before last, where there was some new anti-cheat measures. But it was literally every other game, and I was getting like shot by somebody across the map, 2 shots with a stonking helmet on, and 2 shots dead, and you don't even know where it came from. Or like the stuff that you see is just awful. People just appear behind you and then just shoot in the back. They've got no footsteps. People just stand in front of you and just blaze it. And you can shoot them as many times as you want. Nothing comes out of them. And then they just turn around and kill you. And you just... And now, I'm not saying that European or North American players don't cheat. But what I will say is that North American players and European players are a little bit more intelligent about how they hide it.
Well, I feel like there's maybe more of an expectation, like we'll be punished more harshly.
It's much more frowned upon in Western society. Yes, that's right.
So I mean, why would if it's not as frowned upon, why would you want to hide it? I mean,
well, that's the thing. So
that's yeah.
But don't think that European or North American players don't cheat, because they do, and I catch a lot of people out because I record my stuff and I use the replay function as well. I've seen European players playing on first-person servers, and like I've seen them, and they know where you are, and there's no way they can know. But the guy saw me from 300-400 meters away, and he watched me the entire fucking time. And I've gone to the replay and looked, and he's got no scopes. And how they do it is they have something called ESP, and it's like a map, and they have it on an external device like a tablet or something like that. And you open up a browser and look into a website, and it shows you the map where everybody is on the map, which way they're facing. And then in game, they'll just have like markers with a distance, and then a line to show you the line of sight, and the line of sight will change colour when you a shot on them and stuff like that. But they won't use an aimbot because they know an aimbot will show up on replays really badly. So they just use intelligence, reconnaissance, you know what I mean? Intelligence, like to know where you are at all times. So it doesn't matter whether you've seen him or not. When you go around that corner, you're a dead man.
And for anyone wanting to see like what something like this would look like, Ray, if you can just go into your Discord chat and then post that in the actual video chat, so anyone who's watching, I've linked to that video of yours, Steve, where you can actually see like how intensive the hacking can get.
Yeah, it's bad. This is where the game. This is another reason that there's things about PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds that you won't see in YouTube comment sections that you won't see, and that is how utterly demoralizing this game can be at times. Because
so where did you post this, Chris? Oh.
I messaged you on Discord.
Okay. I got it. Never mind. Continue, gentlemen.
The demoralizing, it's unreal. Now, I'm an unlucky person. I'm naturally an unlucky person. So for me, games like this that are RNG based, that are just based on luck, because all the loot, nothing spawns in the same place. Everything's luck. Everything's like, it depends what you get when you drop. And some of the stuff that happens to me, it's so demoralizing. Like, sometimes it's a struggle. I play 3 games in a row, and the shit, it's just unreal. It's absolutely unreal. And I can't, and then I just have to go, no, fuck it, I'm not playing that, you know. Just go off and to go do something else, you know. Because you could get seriously angry at this game because some of the stuff, and then add to that the cheaters as well. You can play a game where you and a buddy can be off for 20 minutes and not see one soul for 20 minutes, and you're looted out. You've got vests and helmets and backpacks. You've got 2 assault rifles each, some grenades and all stuff, and you walk out of a building and boom, dead by a Chinese cheater. And you go to the replay and have a look, and the guy was 500 meters away, and he shot you out of a moving vehicle with a shotgun, and it was a headshot. You're like, right, thanks. That's 20 minutes of my life I'm not getting back, thanks to some dick. That it's acceptable for him to do stuff like that, but it's not for me.
The biggest problem is that there's really no way to get rid of all cheaters. I mean, it's just that's a problem that pretty much plagues every community. And anytime you have a super popular a super popular multiplayer game of any kind, you know, you're gonna run across people who, even if you have anti-cheat technology, you know, and anti-cheat measures in place, you're gonna have some people who are gonna continue to work around that, and then you're gonna have to update the way you deal with them, you know. So it's an ongoing problem. It never, I can't.
So then it's down to human morals, isn't it? And how the hell are you going to improve them? How the hell do you instill in everybody that it's not okay to cheat when you've got people like Lance fucking Armstrong doing the shit that he did? Yeah, you can't take that out of human nature. I'm afraid people will always want to cheat.
Humans
for me,
are just bad.
Well, for me, I'd like to see they need to either go full bore, right, and give you like a real severe stupid punishment. Like they need to interfere in your RL because of your digital life. So they need to, like I'm saying, like they need to get in touch with your ISP. Yeah, and say, right, we've got proof of this person has been cheating online video games. Cut their internet off for a month.
No, you know what they need to do? Okay, this would be awful. Okay, take their last 6 months of browser history and post it on a social media. Yeah.
Well, do you know what they do in Dark Souls 3? Have you heard about what they do in that, where they have cheater servers, silent cheater servers?
It sounds. Do they put them all together in their own server?
Yeah, they don't notify. You never know that you've been moved. Just all you do is you connect to a server, and that server's just for cheaters. And I think all video games should do that minimum, as well as have anti-cheat systems as well. But what we need to stop is the ability for people to just go and buy another copy of the game.
Now, something I actually just want to touch on, because you actually sort of triggered something else for me, is something they actually do in Overwatch is if you rage quit on a lot of games, you'll get banned from actually being able to join like multiplayer games for a certain amount of time. If you rage quit a lot, if you go AFK a lot.
CS:GO, I believe that is.
Overwatch as well does that.
Overwatch does that as well, yeah, cool.
Yeah. And the thing is, now, being the humble little African boy that I am, sometimes my connection isn't always very stable. And it has happened to me before. I can't remember who it was with. It could have been with my friend Musa. It could have been with Ray over here. But I was kicked out of the game for like 45 minutes to an hour because my connection fucked out.
Well, see, that's just a faulty. That's a faulty system, is what it is. Well, that's what we're running across.
That's a bit shady, really. If the system can't tell the difference.
That's just something that I wanted to kind of like mention out there, that you know
no,
that
but
like
it's true.
Like for example, instead of focusing on like these little areas to dump the cheaters, they're punishing players that have no control over what's happening in their games.
Yeah. I think I might stop my stream, you know, because there's no audio, and that's annoying me. I don't know what's going on there.
That's fine. We can all hang out on my stream.
But it's we've got your stream going, haven't we?
Yeah,
I've checked all
I
my
got
sound.
I got about 20 more minutes, gents, and then. So
I've
what's
checked all
our
my sound and everything? I don't know what it is. I've checked all my sound, all my sounds right, and my voice is in Discord, and I don't know what that is. My bit rate, I checked my stream health and everything. That was all fine.
So
Steve, you know what it is? It's like you said, dude. Orange Jesus has denied you the
Yeah,
stream.
man. Yeah.
what is that? What's our next topic, gentlemen?
So,
Have we
I've
run
got-
out?
if you want to, so let's talk about how YouTube fucked us recently.
Oh, this is a good one. A good
Let's
one.
talk about that. So we've all had the thing that says you haven't reached 1,000 subscribers,
I have a lot to
and,
say about this.
1,000 subscribers, and you haven't broken. Is it
Your watch times,
4,000
yeah,
4,000 minutes?
4,500.
No, it's 4,000 hours. It says, right, because I remember
4,000 hours. You
No, it's
lie.
4,000. I'm not joking. It's 4,000 hours. I read it again because
month.
then I went straight on Twitch, straight on Twitter, and I shouted out the YouTube
Whoa,
haters.
wait,
and I was like, look,
whoa.
4,000
was it
hours.
4,000 hours a month, or
I think it's in a month. Yeah, I think it's 4,000 hours. Oh no, in 12 months. I think it's in 12
Okay.
months, right?
so
Now,
and
and
then divide that by 12.
well, I had a look, and I've got like 11,000 minutes. And I was like, well, what? And they were like, they're like, yeah, you need to divide it by that, and then you'll work out. And I was like, and that's in 12 months. Like, you've just fucked me. I've got till next month to break like 4,000 hours. You're having a laugh. I mean, I'll go and have a look. But my
So,
Do,
so,
do
so
I get
basically,
do I get to unlock Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader once I hit 4,000 hours?
So I'm gonna go to this what do I go to?
no, but and you know what actually pissed me off? Because the first thing I thought of when I saw like you need X amounts of watch time. What immediately pissed me off with that is, do you know who's going to flip and benefit? Do you know who's still going to be getting money? Is those freaking assholes that somehow managed to get copyrighted music in a 24-hour looping live stream.
Yeah. Oh,
Those
so-
assholes are the safe ones.
Yeah. So for me, I've got 139,931 minutes.
Sorry,
Okay,
dude,
so-
but the second you start saying numbers, I start
can I-
thinking of my presidents.
Divide by 6.
I have a lot. I have a very because Azza brought this out. He said he said the name Logan Paul. Okay. So I have a lot to say about this. Okay. Like we were saying earlier, YouTube prefers or caters to is a better word. It caters to its bigger partners because the bigger partners make money. So it gets so they reward their bigger partners with more tools and so on and so forth. Okay, Logan Paul was one of their bigger partners. He was one of their bigger. He was, he fucked up. Okay, he completely fucking fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay, making jokes over a dead body, somebody who committed suicide. That's unacceptable. I mean, even for entertainment standard. I mean, it's unacceptable. Okay. And I feel like he should have known this, but it's not my place to say. I mean, I wasn't there. I can't. But the short version of it is he fucked up, and I feel like it's really suspicious that a week or two after this happened, YouTube implements new rules for the small creators. I feel it almost feels like it may be me, okay? It may just be me, but it almost feels like YouTube, because they've done this in the past when other things have happened with big creators, new rules come out. So it feels to me like YouTube is almost punishing the small creators I don't want to say us, but I mean, you know, that's how it feels.
It feels to me like when there's something like that, they draw in. If you understand what I mean, they pull in and cut some chaff off, you know, and then just lock it down for a bit to try and lock down earnings.
Definitely, because also if you think about it, like for example with that whole incident, you know, suddenly all these eyes are drawn to YouTube. They're now scrutinizing it. So now YouTube, that usually doesn't really pull their socks up for anything, they're like, oh shit, eyes are on us. Now we need to counteract in some way that that doesn't really affect us and doesn't really affect anyone noticeable, but it's still a reaction that everyone can say, hey, look, we did something.
Tux McBee said maybe it's time to break to Dailymotion, Vimeo, etc.
Or onehitpowerup.com.
See, this is where the website comes in. Okay, so the ultimate goal, and I feel like the mission statement for onehitpowerup.com is what we're trying to create. Is eventually we're leading towards this. I'm not saying that's what we have now, but it's kind of what we're trying to move towards. Is a platform for creators who love to create their content.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's for. It's for basically where tools aren't locked behind. This is the biggest problem with YouTube for me, is that the tools that we use, that we need to use, like say creating your own URL for your channel, you know, things like that, are locked behind a fame wall. So basically, if you're not this famous, if you don't have this much watch time, or you don't have this many subscribers, then you can't use these tools. And those are tools that would be useful to creators who make good content. They just don't have the recognition that they deserve. And I get it, dude. There's thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people doing YouTube, and I understand that. I understand that not everybody is going to move up in the world, okay? And that's understandable. But there are a lot of dedicated creators. There's a lot of very visionary creators who are not popular, but they make extraordinarily good content. And it's content that should be enjoyed, and they should be able to make this content. They should be able to publish this content without having to be afraid of, you know, stupid shit. That I feel like it's stupid drama. I feel like YouTube has this stupid drama about it, where you're always worried about the way things are gonna turn out, or the way it's gonna, you know, I don't know.
Definitely, but you see, now I have a, like, you might not agree with this, but just look at it from a different perspective for a moment. I also, now again, like, it's gonna really sound like a bit of a slap in your face, Steve, when I say this, but because you know, you were like, to a certain degree, you know, making earnings off of your content and stuff, you know, that you were making revenue off of your ads, but to a certain degree, I think it's a good thing, in the sense that I feel that this may start to desaturate YouTube a little bit.
Maybe that's what they're after.
It'll start to, because I personally believe that it is that there's just there are too many people doing the same things, uploading the same thing every day, day after day, and they've found, you know, well, if we up the bar of what you can actually make money off of, at what level, maybe a lot of people will get disinterested and they'll get put off of, you know, saturating the market.
That's true. That's one way to look at it.
Maybe it's something to ride through, and maybe come out on the other side and be better for it.
And I can see that.
But my problem comes in that, and this has always been the issue with YouTube, is the last people to ever know when something is happening on YouTube is YouTube's own content creators.
Yeah,
we always
agreed.
find out about the stuff at the last minute, before it's too late for us to do anything about it. For example, Steve, if you were notified, like even 3 months, let's say 3 to 6 months in advance, you then have time to prepare to either come to terms with the fact that you're going to lose this income, or to try and up your standard so that you can continue to make it.
And let me just, I just want to add this in, but before you continue, there is nothing wrong with wanting to make a profit off of your content. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's not what we're talking down upon at all. So when I say that that's when we're talking about, you know, moving away from YouTube, or that we're dissatisfied with it as a platform, that's not. I've got him. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying that you shouldn't make a profit off of what you make. What we're saying is it should be easier for you to create content for people who put the creation of their content and the love of the creation of their content above making money.
Yeah.
So it's more important to you to entertain and make quality content than it is to make money, even though you are making money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, definitely, because dude, I'm on the same page. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you're in the position, a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. If you're putting your heart, passion, and soul into making good and quality content, then by all means, you deserve what you get. Even if it's 50 cents, or if it's $10, or if you're one of the big dogs. If you put the effort in, then reap what you sow. By all means, I have no issue with that.
I agree wholeheartedly, definitely. I think everybody, if you have something creative that you want to share, and if other people feel like watching it, then why? It's the problem is down. I think it's down to the adverts. A lot of people get pissed off with it. This is another part of content creation. It's putting your adverts in there, isn't it? And the people that kill you with adverts kill YouTube.
Can we just can we be honest though? I feel like a big problem too, and this is moving aside from YouTube as a corporation and going more into the community side of things. I feel like, especially certain niches like gaming, and there are some other ones that have to do with entertainment like movies and stuff. But I've been part of the gaming community of YouTube for a long time. And I feel like it's extremely toxic. It's an extremely toxic community. Like, it's hard to find people who legitimately want to work with you, or you run into problems like there are people who post other people's content without asking them, or even moving beyond the gaming side of things. You have people who take funny clips from other people, and put them into a compilation. And these people are making money off of these try not to laugh videos and stuff like that.
Reaction videos.
And reaction videos, which is essentially content that was created by somebody else, posted by someone else. And I don't see any sources ever cited on any of these videos, but yet these people are making money.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, it's super easy to take a bunch of clips, drop them in a fucking editing program, and put some background music over it.
Yep.
I mean, that is easy as fuck to do. It doesn't require any know-how or artistic.
Put it this way: if you have Windows Movie Maker, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the issue that I'm trying to address. I feel like that not only do we have to fight against or worry about YouTube corporately, like as a corporation, also too the community has its problems, serious problems.
We are fearful of our peers, and it's happened before with I know it's happened before with Steve, and I know it's happened with myself as well, where Steve's had some of his stuff taken and re-uploaded by someone else. It's happened to me as well, and it's scary, because I mean, like, all it takes is for your content to go viral for that person, and that's an opportunity you've missed. I mean, and we live in, I mean, with YouTube being as saturated as it is, having something of yours go viral is probably you're more likely to win the lotto at this point. And
but it's also key to trying to achieve success. You need things to be seen. You want your content to be seen.
Definitely,
you want people to be exposed to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I felt
and
bad
when someone else is stealing it, then there's a problem.
Yeah, most definitely.
I felt bad about going to the Russian version of Facebook to take down one of my videos. I had to do that. Don't ask me why I wasn't on the Russian version of Facebook. I typed my name into Google to see where I would come up like for YouTube search and stuff like that. If it was, my name would come up for my YouTube channel and stuff, and it came up fairly early. And then just underneath, it was like me on this, like it was all in Russian, and I translated it, and it was like a really popular Russian social media site. And I went there. This guy had a couple of my videos on there. Like he posted them. So I translated something very nice and polite, and genuinely nice and polite, into and wrote it underneath. I had to make an account and everything, and get a Russian verification email that I had to translate and click on the link.
At gmail.com.
Because I can't remember what it was called. I can't remember. I called it something funny. But yeah, and, I just got in touch and said, dude, I'm Mr. Ixolite. I'm going to ask you very nicely to remove these posts and not put any more up. Don't steal.
So
And it took him a couple of days, but he got back and he was like, yeah, sorry about that.
I have a fairly serious question. What do we do if something like the stream ends up on Pornhub?
If somebody's getting off to my voice, dude, then more power to them.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
saying, dude.
if you're out there, this one's for you.
Yeah, if you're
Wait. So guys, just for them, let's have about 5 seconds where we're cheering them on together. 3, 2, 1, go! You can do it.
Come on, man. Yes, come on. Fuck it out, bro. Come on.
Oh, you work it, man. You work it.
That's it. Come on, nearly there. Nearly the strike.
Nearly there. Oh, magic.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Oh, man.
Ozza,
Wipe it on the curtain.
Ozza's just like my one-eyed python grows at Ray's voice. Dude, reading that comment made the bottom of my desk thump. I had a... Yeah, there we go. I can't believe we just... Okay, yeah. I'm not...
Well, you know what? It's not like this is going to be monetized or anything, so fuck it. You heard me, YouTube algorithms. Fuck it.
Oh, fuck it. It don't matter. It's whatever. What was the Oh, I had one last thing.
You had one last thing? Oh.
See, this is what I worry about. Okay, I worry about it trying to establish a platform. Try to establish a place where people can come and create content, and I worry about that type of community seeping into it.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest
police it.
Because I worry about, because I don't want people stealing other people's content. I don't want somebody who doesn't put effort in, you know. You want somebody who's legitimately trying, and that's the hard part to discern, you know, for me. And
yeah, dude. No, definitely. Look, I mean, and that's where, you know, I think if we start off strong, and put it this way, I think one thing we need to watch is that if this does start to blow up, we just need to a certain sense, we need to figure out some way to sort of quality control and just not let it get saturated too quickly as well. Where we need to, you know, because also that's something we don't want. And I think maybe we'll figure out a system where we can look out for like content stealing and stuff. But the thing is, unlike YouTube, the thing is we're willing to try. We're willing to.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm willing to go the extra mile. If for example, we have a few months online, we have 1,000 active people in our community, and someone comes and says, "Hey, I think someone's stealing my stuff." We will form a structure to actually go and see that is sorted out.
I'll come
No
round.
matter how big or small you are.
I'll come round your house.
We'll send Steve.
Steve will show up with a baseball bat.
The Steve.
No. I won't be bringing anything. It'll just be me.
Release the
Just me.
Exolites.
Just all 6'2" of me. At 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's
Standing in front of your bedroom door.
that's laying down, by the way.
Yeah, Mum and Dad are already tied up quiet.
Steve is 6 foot tall,
I watch
laying
you
down.
sleep. Yeah. That's me like that's my nose. Really flying upwards. if I do the backstroke in a pool, I look like a shark. No, but in all seriousness, no, I do take content theft very, very seriously as well. It's not something.
And I actually think that's going to be a big thing that will help to our success with our project, is that we're all coming from a content creator's perspective. We actually know, and we're a part of the marketing community we're trying to promote.
And that's the thing, dude. We're not the best, obviously. We're not the worst.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. X like Steve, he's on another level, man. He's reached like holy status.
No, my editing skills cannot hold a torch to yours or Chris's.
Like you've got to.
We want more spin size videos.
Somewhere.
Fuck you. You asshole. No one wants to be me, right? Listen, right, let me tell you something. How big do you think my fucking balls were to delete a video, my most popular video that was at 60,000 views?
Oh, dude!
And
somebody somewhere in some place, one of your fans has built a church with it's got a stained glass window in it of you standing over like a Spin Tires truck.
some weird guy out in Siberia has got one of the trucks that I covered, and then a little picture of like me in a thumbnail.
But yeah, for everyone who's listening's sake, as Azza asks, why did you delete it?
Why? Would you like to have a conversation about Spin Tires, the game? Because it's because of the game.
If you could summarize it into 2 sentences.
Into 2 sentences.
I don't think that's possible.
I could summarize it into 4 words if you really want.
There we go.
They fucked us over. Simple.
Well, it got to a point.
I
Steve,
don't want to draw things together, but that seems to be a common theme of our discussion tonight.
Yeah.
They seriously did, though.
Steve told me, just to elaborate on Az's question, Steve told me that he reached a point in his channel that his fan base was pretty much just asking for Spin Tires content.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Steve wanted to branch. I mean, he's a gaming channel, so he wanted to branch out and do other things. But his community was responding very negatively to any content besides Spin Tires content. So he decided to take like a really brash action as basically as Steve's personality.
No. For a long time, at the start of my videos, I was saying don't just subscribe for Spin Tires. Check that. Here's a playlist on this annotation here, and I'll drop a couple more in the description. I've got all the content on all the driving games as well. Check them out. And then every time I uploaded anything that wasn't Spin Tires, it was like no.
Oh no, dude! Don't get me wrong.
I was brash though. Yeah, I did. And I was like, yeah, fine.
You get mad respect for me for like going the extra mile and saying, hey, this is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like the creators.
That's sticking to your guns, man.
I mean, I feel like the creators' opinion matters too. I mean, obviously you want to cater to your community, right? Obviously, but it reaches a point. It reaches a point to where, like, okay, I matter too. I am the creator. There are things I want to enjoy what I make.
Right. Yeah. So the way I run my channel is it's mine. It's my hobby. It will always be a hobby. It is not a way of life. It is not a living for me, and it never will be a living. I will always do something else.
That church in
It'll
Siberia
only
is
ever be a
gaining
hobby,
followers.
right? The problem, a lot of people, and I mean no disrespect to viewers at all, but a lot of viewers are quite expectant. They get treated in a certain way by the big channels in YouTube that feel the need to name everybody as a team and call each other, shout out notification crews, and that's not me. That's not what I'm not a sticker fan. I'm not here for you. I'm not here. I'm here because I like sharing cool stuff, and I like doing this as a hobby. And if there's something you want to see or you want to see more of, tell me and I'll do it. If you don't just watch. If you don't want to say it, that's cool. But I had a guy on the other day where I did a video about my steering wheel and about the force feedback settings in the steering wheel. and about how I managed to get it set up so that my steering wheel for my game felt a lot like my real life car. And the guy left me a comment and he's like, look, you realise that your steering wheel's got a centering spring and real life cars don't. And I'm like, right. And you do realise that you're talking about the difference between the peripheral for a video game and a hydraulic power steering system for a car. Get a
The
life.
objective of the video is to get it to feel as much like as possible.
Right.
It's not to literally take the steering wheel out of your car and hook it up to your computer.
That's it. But I did insult him, but I did
Yeah.
say, get a life. Right. And his next comment was, oh, wow, no wonder you've only got 1,000 some subscribers if you talk to him like that. And so I told him, dude, I'm not a sycophant. I don't care. Like, I'm interested in your opinion. I really, really am. And if you want to come with some reasonable discourse, I'm more than capable of holding debate with anybody. But you're not bringing it. All you did was say your wheels got a centering spring and real cars don't. Dude, have you ever driven a real car? Because if you did, you'll understand that it's physics that recenters the steering wheel on a car. It's friction from the tyres on the road that recenters the steering wheel when you drive off in a straight line. It's not torque from the engine. That's torque steer. That's completely different.
Yeah.
Right,
And
but friction from the top, but because my steering wheel that I used to drive in a video game has a centering spring, that doesn't mean it's crap. That means that the manufacturers of the wheel decided to include that to make it as realistic as experience as they could. Now I'm gonna say it again: get a life. And then he came back again when he was like calling me a dumb fuck and stuff like that. I was like, look, dude, that's your last warning. Don't ever speak to me like that, because I'll make you a hidden user. And I approve all my comments are held for approval. That's how it goes, right? And I have approved your comments personally up to this point. There's no point coming with insults just because I've given you a fact that is its actual fact of physics and reasons, and you don't like it, so you come back with an insult. And I'm not going to sit here and start saying, yes, you're right and I'm wrong just because I want you to subscribe to me, because it doesn't work like that. I mean, I don't run my channel like that. I'm not a sycophant. Now, you subscribe because you like the videos. You don't subscribe because I talk to you and call you all these funny names and I say I love you all the time and blah, blah, blah. It's not like that. You'll notice I've got no paid subscriptions, no donations, no Patreon. I don't ask for nothing because I don't want anything from you. That's how it works for me, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, but get a life. And I'm sorry if that comes across as aloof or uncaring in any way.
It's understandable.
But it's not. That's not.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not trying to build. What I'm doing with you guys here is trying to build a community. What I'm doing with my channel, I'm not trying to build a community. I'm just uploading stuff that I think people might like to watch because they've got some spare time. If you want to interact with me, that's fine. That's great. But I've been running my channel for over a year, and I don't really get a lot of interactions from people, and that's how I'm kind of used to that. If you want to come and talk to me about something and discuss a power steering system on a car versus the centering spring in my Logitech G29, that's fine. We'll talk about that. But don't come at me with like insults, calling me dumb fuck, and then talking shit. Because I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, cool, man, nice one, thanks. Consider hitting the subscribe button. See you later. I'm just not going to say that. I'm going to say, get a life, man. Find something to fucking argue about.
You know, yeah, like, dude, I understand entirely where you're coming from, and like, I mean, you know, if that's your view on the whole thing, you know, all the more power to you. It's just, I think that does reinforce the way that, basically one thing that we are again actively promoting is, you know, it's got to be that constructive feedback, you know, not something where it's an example like that where it just blatantly points something out for the sake of pointing us.
That goes back to basically what I was saying, that the YouTube community has become quite toxic. I mean, it's somebody will come across a video and the first thing they have to say about it is, you know, they pick it apart, you know, and they pick out little pieces of it, and instead of constructively criticizing about how it could be better or what they want to see, you know, it turns into, well, that's just fucked up. That's stupid, you know, and that doesn't help anybody. I mean, that really doesn't help.
That's
anybody.
the bane of content creators in any media, though.
No, and it's true. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
see,
there's a
the
difference.
internet
There's
critics are the worst.
There's a difference between critique
and troll.
and yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
But anyways, guys, this has been great, and I've had a lot of fun talking to you guys. But I am completely.
I haven't.
I have. Well, fuck you, Chris.
Every second of it.
I don't give a shit about you anyway. I'm breaking up with you.
Chris, can you come over and untie me now, please?
No, 10 more minutes.
You hear that? You hear that? That's my go to work in real life alarm.
But Chris, I said the safe word.
you can go untie
Pineapples.
Steve, so we don't have to force him to be in the live
Hi,
stream
honey.
anymore.
Come and take this banana out of my... No.
Out of my nose.
I will untie you and remove all peripherals from all your holes.
Little
As
peripheral.
as soon as you end the stream by telling everyone to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell them they're all valued community members of your community.
Well, this community that we're building here,
It's shared.
I think it's going to be fantastic, and I'm very happy to be a part of it with my salty Britishness. And I welcome anybody that feels like they'd like to join, feels like they want to come back and watch more of these. If you did enjoy it, you know what to do. Leave us a comment. Let us know. Come back. I had so much fun. Like this is what we do anyway.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
This is
but now we
We
couldn't
ba-
have a purpose to
We
do it.
we basically sit around and talk about shit like this all the time, but
Yeah.
it's like, you know what would be a good idea? We should just like podcast it.
Yeah. Well, next time I think I'm just going to record it. I think I'll just record it and then
Well, that works.
Dude, that's what I've done. And so if anyone who's coming at the tail end or has dropped in and out, you'll get a highlight reel in the next day or so.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be good. It'll be on the channel last live, just so you guys know it won't be on my channel.
But
'Cause this is a
Link on oneheadpowerup.com.
This is a community effort.
yeah. Well, I'll write something in the chat, and then like if you write something, Ray, and you write something, Chris, then you can click on the links. Make sure you subscribe to Say Wolf. Make sure you head over and subscribe to Chris as well. And yeah, if you want to subscribe to me, you can.
They're actually they're actually both in my like when you go to my main YouTube page, they're in my. You guys are both in my suggested.
Yeah, I've got them there.
Follow our Lord and Savior Raymondo Selfo and
Hey, dude, Steve's the one who has a fucking church in Siberia with the fucking stained glass windows, spin tires.
Oh my.
He's standing there like a saint too. He's standing there like a saint too. I bet he has his one hand on his one hand on his heart and one hand in the air, and there's a little halo around him, and he's looking down on these like group of little cars.
Oh my god. I couldn't hate you anymore. I couldn't hate you anymore right now. God. You're such a bastard, but I love you.
Anyways,
No, yeah, and yeah, so I think, yeah, if we get, don't forget as well, go to onehitpowerup.com and have a look.
Yeah,
At the very least, go and have a look.
just to see, basically that's the outline of what we're doing, and
To reiterate,
and once you reach the bottom of the page, there's a little email section. If you're interested in joining, type us an email. We'd be eager to take it, eager to read it, eager to induct you into our community.
Chris is just eager about everything. He'll do things to you.
yeah.
If you're not careful.
I need more Steves.
Anyway.
I don't know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the live cast for OneHitPowerUp.com launch, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're out of time today, and hope you guys can join us next month for another one. I don't know what we'll be talking about then, but yeah.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Goodbye.